Stories about BTS's Suga that will melt your heart. Many armies might call Suga the most reserved member of BTS, but if you've been here for a while, we all know that no one tells the most heart-melting stories other than Suga. His words of advice are as golden as his personality, and they definitely know how to leave a mark on you. So, to leave you in awe of Suga once again, we're rounding up the most heart-melting stories from his video. Number 1. Suga's I Love You to Taehyung. Suga could be as emotionless as cold hard ground, but when he shows even a fraction of intimacy, we all get hyped up as if it's the event of the century. Don't get us wrong, Suga has his moments of being all flush with emotions, but they're extremely rare. And the last thing that you'll expect of Suga is to actually tell I love you to his fellow bandmate over a text. The timing of this story will definitely make you teary-eyed, so you might want to quickly grab some tissues. Armies were under a massive shock when BTS revealed their initial decision to disband in 2020, after not renewing contracts in 2018. In a very heart-touching interaction with fans, the members discussed how overwhelming was the year 2018 for them career-wise. BTS had gained a new profound global success over a short period of time, and in order to maintain their success, our boys were working super hard. Which wasn't only causing them to go under stress, they had other mental challenges as well. Yeah, it's true that armies like us surely extend our support for the boys, but that sort of reassurance isn't always enough. Fortunately for us, BTS has now extended their contract till 2026, yet challenges are never ending. We all practically swooned over how the boys supported each other throughout those hard times. But Suga's message of support for Taehyung will melt your heart. During their BTS dinner party appearance, Taehyung literally caught us by surprise when he revealed how Suga sent him a long message of support when he was clearly struggling in 2018. The message was signed off with a subtle I love you. And yep, cue the crying now. All the members were in shock as well because that's so not Suga's style. We guess everyone would make an exception for our Taehyung. Number 2. Suga's career story. One of the hardest decisions of any teenager is to choose their desired career, especially when your parents aren't particularly excited about it. And Suga's story isn't entirely different at all. Suga always wanted to get into music as a producer. Yeah, he tweaked his role in the music industry a little bit, but it's for the good, right? You won't be surprised to hear that Suga's parents wanted him to choose a stable government or civil job to have a secure lifestyle. Yet Suga's bravery went far, as he's now in the biggest boy band of the world. He's a living example of how courageous decisions in the moments of uncertainty can define your life for you. And he hasn't been shy about his underprivileged background or the financial status. In fact, he describes his family as the defining factor of his career. You'll be surprised to know that Suga's parents didn't acknowledge his musical efforts even when BTS was at a new height of success. They didn't attend his shows and never sent him a message of support. Fortunately for Suga, his parents are now super supportive of him and are his foremost inspiration. He said, and we quote, "They strongly opposed it for about half a year. My father is a very strict person, and since my parents suffered a lot, they didn't want their own child to suffer too. They wanted their children to become civil servants and live stable lives." So if you're an army who's struggling with the same kind of issues, Suga might be a source of inspiration for you. Number 3. Suga took J-Hope to the emergency room. We all know the iconic duo aka Soap is a force to be reckoned with, and their friendship is probably the best in BTS, but did you know that Suga was once a knight in shining armor for Hoseok? Yep, you can only expect royal treatment from Suga for his Hoseok. With whom else does Suga carry out a full-fledged skin routine other than Hoseok? You got it right, practically no one. The next story on our list is a blast from the past as we're taking you back to BTS's trainee days. You might have heard the story many times from Suga, but we're narrating the full account from Soap's interview to Hanryupa magazine. Hoseok was working super hard during his trainee days, which was constantly wearing him out. Suga, the loyal soldier, who was also Hoseok's roommate, was quick to take note of that. As Suga recalls, the other trainees had left to celebrate New Year's with their families while him and J-Hope stayed back. Which turned out to be extremely fortunate because J-Hope's stress-induced enteritis got so bad that he definitely needed urgent medical care. And that's when Suga, aka the superhero of our dreams, comes in. He didn't only drive J-Hope to the hospital, but he also carried him all the way to the emergency room on his back. Don't know about you guys, but we're definitely questioning the type of friends we have right now. Soap's standards of friendship are hard to cross by, so don't keep your hopes up. We're just gonna go ahead and make this even worse for you all because this wasn't the only time that Suga took J-Hope to the hospital. Yep, the duo has made numerous trips to the emergency room thanks to their strict routines of training beyond their breaking point. J-Hope couldn't return the favor when Suga suffered with acute appendicitis in Japan, but we're sure that J-Hope compensates him here and there. At least he agreed to share his skin routine. That's something, right? Number 4. Dare to dream. You might know Suga as the man fulfilling his dreams in a short span of his career, but the rapper himself wasn't always this optimistic. ARMYs know that Suga's most distinctive quality among the other members is the fact that he's always candid and honest about the different phases of life. He shares the stories about his struggles with ARMYs and is always upfront about his past that has shaped up his life now. Depression, OCD, and social anxiety disorder are the few mental illnesses that Suga has gone through since his childhood. So he was uncertain about making it to the super competitive music industry. His family environment wasn't supportive either, and the mental challenges were taking the best of his early years. As a result, he went through a very rebellious and restless adolescent phase. Like a lot of us, music was his only anchor and support system, so he kept going on. Suga's courage and determination is truly heart-melting, and we couldn't be more proud of him. He said, and we quote, "Anxiety and loneliness stay forever, and how you choose to make peace with them, that needs a lifetime of consideration." Suga defines his story in just one line: "You have to dare to dream." To add on to his story, he said, and we quote, "I've never not had a dream, and I made it all come true." If we really want to overcome our personal challenges, it's important to set a goal and work for it, even if it's in small pieces. So you can take a page or two from Suga's personal handbook. Therapy is expensive, but advice from Suga Hyung is free. And number 5, Suga's letter to his ex-girlfriend. Ever heard of an ex-partner who owns up to his mistake that led to the end of the relationship? Yeah, those type of ex-partners belong to the fictional world, or they're extremely rare in the real world. But allow us to surprise you once again when we say Suga is actually that type of ex-partner. He recalled his ex-girlfriend and how she broke up with him, which naturally kicked off his heartbroken phase. The friendship turned into a relationship story gets super real in Suga's case as he fell in love with his middle school friend. The relationship had a rocky start because Suga was conflicted about his feelings. Yet the real reason for the breakup turned out to be Suga's closed off and shy nature that made him awkward around his girlfriend. And you know what happens next. Suga began to ignore his girlfriend that ultimately ended his relationship. Like a true gentleman, Suga extended courtesy to his girlfriend when he actually understood his part in the breakup. He understands why his partner couldn't keep up with him given her young age and his complex personalities. So, no hard feelings here, ARMYs. But the best part of the story is the next one. Suga went ahead and apologized to his ex-girlfriend publicly through writing a letter to a local radio channel. The likening of the radio channel was something common in the pair, and Suga used it extremely well. He admits that if he could turn back the time, he'll definitely treat his girlfriend better and would show off his love for her proudly. The ex-girlfriend received a note of gratitude from Suga as she gave him some of the most memorable moments of his life. We know the story might sound like a ripoff from some cliche John Green book, but it's actually true. So if you know fellow ARMYs who have high standards for their potential significant others, Yoongi might be a credible reason for that. And that's all from us today, ARMYs. Which of these heart-melting stories of Suga inspired you the most?